3, 2, 1, action. Okay, hello. So today's video is going to be a little different. I am outside because it's really nice out. It's finally starting to get warmer. Today is not going to be a book-related video. I just wanted to share a few things mostly related to mental health. Today I'm going to be sharing how I deal with negative emotions. Before I get into this, I just want to say these are techniques that I've picked up along the way. These techniques work for me, and they might not work for you. I'm not saying that all of these are going to work for everyone. I'm just sharing what works for me, and maybe it'll work for you. So, I have different steps of how to deal with my negative emotions. The first step is feeling my emotions. Because I used to always shove them down deep, and I'm sure everyone has come along and found a person that will tell you, just ignore your emotions, just push them down, and you'll be... So, it was at this point that my brother started to sneak up on me, so you'll see him in the background, and I don't notice him for a little while, so just ignore him, okay? Because, sometimes people are that way. I asked them not to interrupt me, but he interrupted me anyway. Just ignore him. Fine, but that doesn't work because it may feel like it works at first. You might push your emotions and suppress them, and you might be like, yeah, I feel fine. I'm not sad because I'm just ignoring it. But those emotions, I promise you, they will come back up, and when they come back up, they usually explode out of you in messy tears. That's just the way emotions work. So the first step to dealing with negative emotions is to allow yourself to feel them. This looks different for different people. I personally usually take a shower and listen to sad music. I just pretend I'm in a dramatic music video, tears streaming down my face, and I'm like, life is over, everything is gloomy, and I just sob in the shower. And it actually can be almost strangely a positive experience because those emotions are coming out and they're being expressed, and it's almost, how do I put this? It's hard to explain, but it really helps to just let yourself cry sometimes. Or if you're angry, sometimes it can be helpful to just scream, or punch a pillow. And and on the whole note of feeling and expressing your emotions, make sure you're doing it in a undestructive way. So feel your emotions, but feel them in a healthy way. Cutting yourself would not be a healthy way of feeling your emotions. Kicking or hurting someone would not be a healthy way of feeling your emotions. Crying is, and I know some people could disagree, but in my opinion, crying is a healthy way of dealing with your emotions or expressing your emotions. Ooh. I'm not gonna wait for the wind to stop blowing. It can just be peaceful little background noise. Showering and crying is a healthy way of dealing with your emotions. Punching a pillow, exercising in moderation is a healthy way of dealing with your emotions. Just expressing your emotions, letting them run their course, because once you've expressed them, you can move on to the second step, which is moving on in a way. Just like you shouldn't suppress your emotions, you should never, completely try to forget about them. Because, let's just say in a really upsetting situation like a breakup, you can't just, be like, I'm gonna move on, because after big things like that, you can't just move on. But once I have processed my negative emotions, I try to not stay stuck in them. So after I've, cried for maybe half an hour, I don't let myself continue crying. How do I put this? I'm not saying you want to stop yourself crying. I'm just saying, get it all out and then move on. Don't just keep crying over and over. For example, I'm trying to think of an example. I'm also trying not to shiver because it's kind of chilly out here. Who just said something? Judah.
What?
Go away, you creep.
I've been standing here for the past 10 minutes and you didn't notice me.
Mm.
And I was literally, look, I was moving closer and closer. Look, I started out right here and I kept moving closer and you didn't notice me. Wait, the part when you were talking about bottled up emotions, that's when I came here.
Okay, go away.
I've been here since then.
I've only been filming for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've been here the entire time. The moment you said, I'm gonna film a video, I snuck out the side door and I literally just stood there like this.
That's so creepy. Okay, go away. Don't do that again. Anywho, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Let your emotions play out, but don't wallow in them. Don't let them pull you down so far that you can't get out of them. Yeah, so once I express my emotions by crying, usually crying for me, but it looks different for everyone else. Once I express them, I move on. I turn on some more happy music, some more inspirational music, and sometimes it's super cheesy. Sometimes I literally will just listen to like Taylor Swift or Meghan Trainor, those like upbeat, you can do this songs. Don't stare at me.
Stop it.
Anywho, I listen to those really upbeat songs. Go away! Go away! I listen to the really upbeat songs to just lift my mood. So that's kind of like lifting me up from the crying fest. And then the final step for me is bringing joy / distraction. When I say distraction, because I kind of, it's almost contradicting because I say don't like ignore your emotions and then later now I'm saying distract yourself. Express your emotions, but it's also good to distract yourself so you don't perseverate on them too much. So after I've cried and after I've kind of lifted myself up, I find something to help me stay lifted up. Sometimes I'll bake, sometimes I'll just chat, read a book, something that keeps me from sinking again. And then finally, I would just say patience. Simply just waiting for your emotions to simmer down. As time goes on, your emotions do get a little more controllable as time goes on. Trauma, mistakes, all of those things get a little easier to handle. And talking to someone or just venting can really help. Letting your emotions out, crying, screaming, stuff like that is always helpful. And because I'm one who's dealt with self-harm, I find that crying has been the most helpful thing to let out my emotions. But that's just my personal opinion. So to sum up, the first step is release your emotions. Step 2 is pick yourself up by listening to happy music or something like that. Third step is distraction / sustaining a positive vibe. And when I say positivity, I don't necessarily mean joy or happiness. You don't have to go straight from crying about like being upset or crying about next to I'm happy now. Just kind of accepting those emotions, crying them out, and then moving on, not allowing them to rule you. And then step 3 is just rinse and repeat. I wish I could say that I've only used that process once, but I use it all the time. It's really helpful. Yeah. And once again, this is just how I process my emotions in a mostly healthy way, and I find it to be pretty helpful, but you know, it doesn't work for everyone. But I hope that these tips help you a little bit in processing negative emotions. And let me know if you try these or want to try these, or if you have any tips for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.